First of all, welcome everyone. This is gonna be amazing. I have two incredible dancers and human beings. That's the most important.
Yes.
What kind of a person? I love when I meet some dancers and they show that they are not just great dancers, but incredible human beings. And this couple, they are. We have
Alex.
And Desiree.
You know them, Alex and Desiree. Oh my God. I remember when I saw you on videos, because I know you from before, but then I didn't know that you were doing Bachata Dominicana. We used to dance more mambo and all that, too. And it was so nice to see, and I was like, oh my God, amazing the way he moves. And then I said, it really, because I think this is great for all the dancers, that when it comes to size, when it comes to gender, when it comes to age and everything, there's nothing impossible. You can do
No
anything you
limits.
want.
That's true.
And so let me ask you something, okay?
Okay.
How long have you been dancing together?
We've been dancing officially just Alex and Desiree, I think since 2015. But we were dancing together. We started dancing together because the great
Ismael
Ismael
Otero,
Otero.
the Million Moves man.
Yes, put us together to dance. He was like, oh, you guys should dance together. And we're like, okay. And this is before I was a part of their team. And
Maybe like 2012.
So 2012, and so we did a routine together then. And then like after that, Alex asked me to join the Caribbean Soul for Bachata. And then after that, I was on their team. And then we left Caribbean Soul officially 2015 to just do Alex and Desiree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn so much today.
Yes. Yes.
Because I know them and everything, but I think this is really cool about the questions because yesterday I got surprised by other dancers, and it's great to know all these things. Now, another one.
Okay.
This one is a little bit, do you have kids or do you want kids in the future?
I do not have kids. I don't close the possibility of having kids. I think maybe adoption could be an option, but right now, no, I don't have kids.
Yes, I have kids. I have two kids. Theodore is 6 and Rio is 7 months. So last year I came to Bachaturo and I was pregnant. And I was performing and I had a whole pregnant video performing because, God blessed me to still be able to have a good pregnancy that I was able to move, So
and to work during the pregnancies
was one of my last kind of shows. Maybe I think I did like maybe a couple after that, but because you can't fly after 7 months, or they suggest that you don't do that. So I was pregnant last year here and no baby now. So hoy se ve.
Wow. Hoy se ve. Do you
I
ever
have
learn?
amazing kids.
Oh, that's
so good.
Now I remember from last year exactly when you were there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's really a blessing. And to your point of you can be whatever age, you can be whatever size to dance, you can still be a mother and dance.
Bravo.
And you can still stay in your passion and purpose. And with a village, it's possible to do all things, let me tell you.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they're afraid, and now lately we were talking before, to have kids and all that, and especially in the dance world.
Yeah.
They think like, no, if my body's not going to be the same, or I'm not going to be able to travel and everything. And that's not true because I'm one of the oldest dancers. I have 2 kids, Fernando Sosa, we were talking about Trujillo Jam, Adolfo, all those.
Yeah.
Daniel y Desiree, they have kids.
Tito
I
Tamara.
think everything. Sometimes I think even motivate you to do even more.
Yeah.
Because now you have to work for somebody else.
Exactly. Now you have to work for somebody else, but then it's also powerful for your children to see you in a position where you're still living in your
Passion.
element, you know? Not to say like, you stop dancing or it's fine if you stop dancing. It's your choice to do whatever you want to for your life. But if I'm going to be like, oh, you made me stop dancing and you're the reason why I'm not dancing anymore. What the hell does that do to the kid, you know?
Yeah.
But for the kid to see, oh my God, my mom is really, something brings her so much joy, and look at how she's spreading her love to the audience or to in classrooms, or, you know, I think it's powerful.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I have another question. Do you ever learn something from people you teach?
All the time. All the time.
All the time.
I actually think this is really a lot like if you remember when you were back in high school or in college and you were assigned to be someone's tutor, and you're like, for example, in math, you're like, you understand it, but then when you break it down to other people, you understand it even more.
You affirm it for yourself.
And that's 100% what happens to me all the time. When I do a private lesson, when we teach together, sometimes we feed off of each other. I'm like, something that Desiree said really resonated with me. And then I'm like, it just makes me understand it at a deeper level. And then I'm able to apply that in my next lessons.
Yeah.
So all the time, not only from the people that we're teaching, but also from the people that we're dancing.
Yeah,
with.
and just to piggyback off that, you know, some people have like more limitations than others, right? So you're like, oh, how can I deliver this information differently so that you
Can register.
access it, or you can attain it, right? Or how is it that I can teach the same thing with this modification for this person that might not have the same range of motion as this other thing? So, I mean, wow, there's so much to learn. And then, you know, when you learn a lot, you know that you don't know anything. So then you're so open to just accessing information and learning from anybody, really. I mean, teaching is amazing.
Yeah. Can you tell us if you can see a big difference between the sensual bachata and traditional Dominican bachata? And what is that you see in the future for the Dominican bachata or the sensual too?
So you're saying in terms of the dance, what is the big difference that we see?
Yes, and when it comes to feelings and all that, what is the difference? Because when I go to events, and I go, let's say, to the Cuban room, I see a big difference on the passion, the atmosphere, you know, the happiness. Then when I go into a room that they're dancing more, you know, line dance, and it's like, it's not that it's bad or anything, but it's a big difference. The same
The
with
vibe is
Dominican.
different. Yeah.
I dance sensual, I know a little bit Dominican, but just when I hear the Dominican music, there's like this spark, like, I don't know. It's
Yeah. I also think that the spark has, and I think what you said is right on key. It's the music, right? So the music, you hear the music and it does something to you. And for us, everything is driven really by the music, right? So a lot of times, one big difference is with the music, we were just talking about this, that some of the DJs play, it could be very monotone, like, and so with that, how are you supposed to create dynamics with that? So sometimes it's a little, and you don't hear as much bachata in the actual bachata in the song, like the rhythm sections or all of the instruments might not be there. So then for you to access like your quote unquote basic step might be hard to manufacture that, right? So people, I don't know.
I think for us, in terms of like when a lot of people have these umbrella statements, Dominican traditional style, but really at a basic level, foundational level, we believe that the basic is the basic is the basic. So what we're seeing sometimes is how much of the basic and foundation is being applied in a more sensual, in terms of like the basic for bachata, and then how much of the added movement vocabulary from other genres are included. For example, you see some of like, I know it's a little bit controversial, but maybe some Zouk-inspired movements, maybe some Kizomba, some contemporary, whereas those movement elements aren't really found so much in a more traditional Dominican style. And also how much percentage of the basic weight transfers you're seeing in a more traditional Dominican style versus in a sensual style where you would see, for example, a lot of upper body movements that are being done for maybe a couple of eights or a few eights without moving their feet.
Right, and where it's more yes and, you can be like doing the basic and add this, but not you are doing this and you omitted the basic, right? It's like you could fold things in. I also think right now it's a growing trend, and I think it might be due to social media as well. People are seeing certain things and maybe they don't have the cultural reference point of understanding when things are appropriate. So like if they're going in class and they're starting to learn all of these other movements as like the basics of the dance, and so now they're doing head rolls and all these rolls and stuff as like beginner things. So for me, it just goes back to, can you dance with grandma, with abuelita like that? You're gonna do the body rolls on her? No, you'll do it more basic. Yeah, but this is a thing. Also, you're gonna dance with the 14-year-old girl if you're the 65-year-old guy body rolling on her? No, you should understand how to do just simple basic movements to start off with, and then depending who you're dancing with, you can fold in different things. But when people don't have that context, it's really hard, you know?
I think in terms of like the future, I think the things that kind of scare me a bit is the direction of where it's heading and how much of a focus is it on commercializing and benefiting financially from a dance that's so culturally tied versus preserving what the essence of the dance is, preserving what the intentions, the feeling, the cultural background. Because I feel like with every dance, the foundation is the most important. It's like building a house, right? If you don't have a good foundation, it doesn't matter what type of like, wallpaper you use, what type of picture frames you put up,
because your house is falling down.
It's the foundation.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I feel like what I fear is the importance or the prioritizing of everything else versus what we feel is important, the foundation, the essence, the basics, the roots. And if we don't have that, and if we lose like the cultural ties, and if we're also not prioritizing the basics and the fundamentals, if, for example, artists that are considered traditional bachata artists, Dominican bachata artists, are not really seen as like as commercial or as like what the event is looking for or as popular or as whatever, then it's like little by little we start to lose that. And we're seeing that also today, also in bachata as a music. For example, when I was growing up, I loved seeing Anthony Santos and Raulín and Kiko Rodriguez playing their guitar as they're singing. And now you don't really see that much. A lot of these artists are now just holding a mic. Some of them are now even transitioning to not even having the band, to having a track. And then the last thing I want to happen is that they also drop their mics because there's just not a crowd or a following for this type of music.
That's true. I see it a lot when I go to events. I think everything became so fast with the social media. I remember when we started with the LA style and everything, or New York style, there was not social media like this. There was no Facebook, no Instagram, no YouTube. It was really new, you know?
Yeah.
And I think now everything is like, there's some artists that become really popular
overnight. Yeah.
And maybe they don't even have the experience or anything, and sometimes they don't know how to handle things or teach the students.
It's
and they
true.
can create, some students that they can hurt some people on the dance floor too.
For sure. And you never know what someone's entry point into this world is, right? Someone might have they saw one video and for them that's the only way to dance bachata, we're just with one teacher and like that's the only way, and centralizing one type of aesthetic, right? Versus being able to see, this is how you could dance to this song, or this is how you could dance to that song. Going back to the question about like the difference between quote unquote Dominican and sensual, I think it's also the variety. And I think people are really lost with thinking that maybe traditional or Dominican bachata is just always super, super fast. But you have some slow bachatas or medium bachatas. And it goes back again to the music, as if the rooms were to play a variety, or the DJs would have like more of a breadth of different styles or different artists. Then maybe you would see a difference in the room. But
the dance
it's
is
not.
really nice. In Dominican, when I see they do, you don't need to concentrate on do too much. It's
many
more
of the
about
patterns.
the movement, the enjoyment, with each other.
Yes.
And it's more playful, more more relaxed in a way. Even if a lot of people think, it's faster, but it's more relaxed mentally when you have to and sensual, learn so much stuff and think. I don't know, but I think I think we agree
Yeah.
for the students to learn not just one thing, try to learn everything. And trust me, that's the way you try. And then, I really like it. But some people, they have this mentality and they think that sensual is bad or the opposite. No, Dominican is it. I recommend you like dancing, try to dance a
Be
little bit
exposed
of
to
Yeah.
everything.
Be exposed to
Because
everything,
and
but-
support everything because that's the only way that we're gonna survive as
Absolutely.
dance instructors for the clubs, the promoters, the DJs. If there's no people involved into the dance world, it collapses. So try to learn everything.
And learn the basics first. That's it.
Yes. I have this question, okay? What emotions do you feel just before you step into the stage?
Ooh,
Excitement.
Excitement. I think that's a big one. Maybe you could be a little nervous depending on how well your rehearsals have been going. But I think that's the most important thing. Like the more prepared you are for the stage, the more you've rehearsed something, I think, are familiar with it. I think that gives you a little bit of ease before you go on stage because you're sure of what you're gonna do. But I think it is an excitement for at least for
I
for
always
me.
go through like this internal ritual. I always pray, and I'm thankful to God to allow me to fulfill my passion because now I do this full time. I know not everyone has the luxury of being fulfilling their dreams full time, but I also pray that I'm not going to fall, pray that I'm not going to mess
Yeah.
up,
Yeah, of
but
course.
also that I can at least with this show inspire at least one person in the audience because I think that we all tell a story with our bodies, with our projection, with our choreographies, and so I always aim to like at least leave the stage, leaving it all on stage and being able to like inspire at least one person because I think if even out of thousands you can change someone's life with what you do, I think that that's something very like special,
I think that again, like what Alex is saying, it's so important. Before we go on stage, we pray, and just it's not lost on us that we have a gift and that we're sharing our gift. So it's like, thank you for blessing me. So let me continue to share my joy on stage and like, transmit my joy to the audience because it should be a pleasurable experience. Nobody wants to sit in their chair like this. Oh my God, I don't know if they're gonna make it. Oh my God, I don't know if or oh, they look so tense. Or like, no, someone, you wanna breathe and just, you wanna enjoy watching them. People are really motivated by, like you said, inspired, but you can inspire someone to perform. You could inspire just a smile.
Yeah,
just
that
2
make a
minutes
difference.
of like, wow, look at how I love to watch them dance. Like they're living in their joy. That's a really powerful thing.
What you get in return from people that you inspire, even one person, whatever, it's just wonderful.
It is. So I think versus thinking about like, all of the technicalities, I think the style that we do is a little bit more forgiving, that we could just go up there, have a really good time, and just remember that it's just 2 minutes, so enjoy it.
There's some people that do more, but in the old times we used to do 8 minutes.
I know.
Oh my
And then
God.
I think
Xiomara
because before no one
Vasconcelos,
used to
12
cut.
minutes.
No one
Yeah.
used to cut the song before. So
No.
those apps
like-
didn't exist.
3
But
verses, 4 choruses.
usually it was not even one song. You put the other song.
Right.
They finish one and then they play the
Yeah.
second. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Well, I have something here that I think this is because it happened to me many special moments on the stage. If there's any moment on the stage that you will remember forever.
On the stage.
Yeah.
Well,
Good moments.
right.
That's exactly that.
Exactly. Good
It came
moments.
so many things into my head. Something
think-
good and something bad. Something good and
I
something
think one moment would be, well, I have 3. One of them was we did Paris Salsa Congress, and we looked at the lineup. We were like, where are we in the lineup? And they were like, we're
closing.
last closing, and we were closing the Paris Salsa
With a
Congress
merengue.
with a merengue routine. And when I tell you, I think they put the order obviously from the tech rehearsal, but when we finished that show, everybody was like, the audience was standing up and cheering. And we're like, oh my gosh, this was a merengue routine. And we like closed the salsa congress. It was just so special for me.
I have another moment. Just to context to understand why this moment was so special. So I grew up with Caribbean, so Ismael Otero,
Yeah, of course.
Ismael from New Jersey.
My brother.
And from the moment I started dancing with him, he always pushed us to just be our own individual expressive dancers.
Yes.
So he would do this thing where he would put us in a circle and he would say, okay, dance. And he would put different styles of salsa. And we would kind of just do the basic step just the way we did it to any song. And he would put, like, for example, a song that was like the salsa version of Billie Jean. And he would say, like, okay, I see you're doing salsa, but how would Michael do it? You know what I mean? Like, what do you feel? What is the groove? And so that made me realize also these exercises that the importance of just being yourself as a dancer, individuality, and also not conforming to any type of like structure. When we started doing bachata in this network, because you have like the street world and then you have the studio world. And in the studio world, like I just always danced the way I naturally danced. And that's a lot of the choreographies that we did with Caribbean Soul were very much just like, okay, Alex, social dance is like, boom, we're gonna put that in the choreo. We're gonna put that. Now just fix it a little bit so it's now more towards like, projecting more
Directing
towards the audience. And so when we began Caribbean Soul Bachata, Ismael, there was a competition in New Jersey, and we were like, this competition is just it's just like they're looking for musicality, timing, technique, bachata.
And it was in New Jersey.
And it was in New Jersey. We didn't even know. We were like, what? But we were like, check, check, check. And at first, I was like, I don't want to compete because I had a fear that if we started doing bachata on stage, it would happen with the same thing that happened to salsa, where it's like, it stopped being a street dance and it became more like performative, and then you lost the essence of salsa, blah, 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 blah. So he told me, if you don't want that to happen, then that's your perspective. That's your voice in this network. You will create choreos that remain true to the essence. So fast forward, we go to the competition, we end up losing. We came like in second, third place. And we lost to this group that was doing like a whole bunch of tricks. But in my head, I was like, but they don't dance better than us. Yes, they got tricks, but they don't dance. So the organizer said, listen, I'm going to invite you to come to Spain, and we're going to put you on this stage to compete at a world championship against other bachata competitive teams. Now imagine being compared to all of these other routines that have like tricks and dips and stuff, and we were the only team there that, first of all, we didn't have nice costumes because
our
we had
costumes were from the sex shop. Okay,
They were
we like just cut them
Amazon
out.
or
We were
something.
like, and everybody, just to give context too, Alex is like here, the other guy was like down here, I'm up here, black girl. There's another short little girl, so we all look different.
We didn't look like competitors.
The other teams look like synchronized swimmers. They were like.
So anyway, the whole thing was that we were able to, because I told Ismael, I said, you know what? I don't know if we can like win in a competition like this. You're going like up against cabaret routines, and we're doing like, we're not even, the most we did was like a split, I think. Like, honestly. But I remember the feeling of getting on there and having everyone looking at us like, who are these people? And it's like, we don't even know them. What are they doing? Like, this is laughable. Like, the judges told us, you guys came out and it was laughable because of how different you looked and how, we
went the wrong way in the entrance.
Yeah.
We were just like, it was totally a movie. You know, like the people that are like the misfits, and then they go to the competition, and it was crazy.
But then once we did our first basic, and you hear, it was in an auditorium. And so you see, like, we were like low and everybody was like sitting up, and you hear the stomps of the people. Doom, doom. They were clapping with us and
but by the middle of the routine, that's when
and so it was like, even talking about it now, like my hairs are standing up.
Yeah, that was really
that feeling was incredible because I felt like we gained acceptance from a whole new network of people who didn't even know who we were. Yeah. And our dancing was really what proved to people that, hey, you can look this different way. You don't have to do tricks. You don't have to do. We came in second place. I think out of like 12 or 14
But this is the I think the moral of this story in Spain for Bachatea. This is the moral of the story with that. We came in and we were true to who we are, and we brought something different that they had never seen before. And instead of winning, we made an impact. Mm-hmm. And we made an impact, and people were like, what? Wow, who, where, blah, blah, blah. The next year, the organizer invited us to come teach at the festival. So we're teaching at the festival, and the next year, guess what? Everybody used our song. The next year, everybody was doing the movements that we had in the routine. So it's like, who was more influential? Whoever won, which I don't even know who won. I don't even remember, but people remember that time that we delivered that choreography.
And I think now, I mean, not to toot our own horn, but thanks to moments like that, it really, I think,
Yeah.
opened the doors and the pathway to a lot of now there's a lot of traditional bachata instructors, but being able to show them that it's possible,
On
I think that
stage.
was for me like one of the most memorable moments in our career.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
One other thing that we just did together that I think was really powerful, we danced when I was pregnant also at the VMAs for Carol G, and that was, it was just stage performance, but it was for merengue. It was a merengue, so it was awesome to bring merengue to the VMAs. But using us, like, because you think, oh, MTV, you're gonna have all these just sexy people that are the same height and with all these muscles and like young and stuff, and Carol just wanted to deliver like a Latin party on stage,
An authentic,
part. So
feel.
what is like
Wonderful.
an authentic Latin party without big people, without old people, without pregnant people? You gotta have. Come on, every Latino party has something. It's like regular people,
Yeah.
but they can dance.
Yes.
So sometimes like I think that's like the big thing for us is like you can look whatever way, but can you throw down? Where is the
Yeah, I think sometimes they just want to do everything perfect,
Yeah.
technical and everything, and they're missing something, and that's what happened with the LA style. We didn't know about counts or anything,
No.
and I think that's why it became so popular because they were seeing what we were doing with passion and love.
Yes,
Yep.
And of course, we didn't know about music, about counts, and then we learned from New York, from Nelson Flores and all that.
Yeah.
I met Ismael Otero, that is like my brother.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna see this video, brother, you know that I love you, man. You're part of the history of salsa. You did so much for New York, and I got emotional.
Yes.
But anyways,
Don't get emotional.
I love you, brother. I love you. Well, I have another question. Do you think dance should evolve or stay more traditional?
Well, nothing in life doesn't evolve.
It's the same.
Nothing in life stays the same. Everything evolves. People evolve. We, as the human race, evolve, right? We meet the times. So music never stays the same. So I don't know why dance would stay the same. I think
agree.
the more that we progress and stuff, like Alex was saying about maintaining like the essence of what it is. I think that's super important to maintain an essence of something to meet the moment, right? But then, if things change, you kind of change with it. I think that's just
I think if it doesn't matter whether or not we think it should or shouldn't, it will, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's inevitable, and I think that because of the evolution, you continue to inspire more people, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of what you see today, there's very few things that we haven't seen now that hasn't been done before, but maybe in that way, or adding this, or creating a perspective or a point of view. The artistry that's being brought into this network is really incredible, especially when nowadays everything is just like mixed. Like you have people coming in from different other styles of dance, and I think it's a beautiful thing to see how you can take one thing and have it evolve. I think for me, what's important with the evolution is to be able to have a good understanding of the roots of the dances that you're fusing and that you're adding into in this case bachata.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo. What other passions do you pursue outside the dance world?
I'm really passionate about a lot of things. I even though I don't do it as much, a lot of people probably don't know that I used to write a lot. So when I was younger, I used to write like poetry and short stories.
Oh, wow.
He's a writer.
But I need to like start reading again because I think when I was writing, I was also reading a lot. Now it's
Reading
like
is fundamental.
now you'll
Alex.
catch me on Netflix watching Love Is Blind or something like that. But I think that in terms of like my other passions, also I'm really passionate about cooking. So I'm like a family like homebody. So when I'm not dancing, I'm spending a lot of time with my family, playing board games, and also cooking and exchanging recipes and things like that. So.
Do you like cooking? Like I love cooking.
Yeah, he has a whole album in his phone of his recipes and his
Nice,
pictures
that's
of food.
good.
Well, I have two kids, and one of them is under 1 year old, so it's hard to have any time for anything else,
Tell me
right?
about it.
Besides dance. But I have a company with my husband where we design clothes and small furniture pieces. So
wow.
I get really I love a DIY project. I'm super hands-on and super crafty. I went to art school my whole life, so super passionate about the arts and performing arts and visual arts. My husband is a visual artist. And so, yeah, I like to make art in any form, you know.
She's actually made some of her costumes.
I've made some of my costumes,
nice.
but you know, I love to paint. I love to sew. I like to, you know, make stuff with my hands, and so yeah.
Nice. And with your body, because you
And
have
with my
two
body.
kids.
Yeah. Oh.
What message?
¡Qué fresco!
Another one. This is what? That's because it was perfect for the
Yeah,
Georgia
it
rap. What message would you like to give to those who just start their dance journey, especially with Dominican bachata?
Okay.
Okay. When I think a lot of artists, they come to us, they say, "Oh my God, I want to be an artist. I want to be, you know, I want to travel." And I'm like, "Okay, you want to travel?" I am nowadays, I'm like, you need to be specific with what you ask for the universe just to travel. Okay, so you want to get your, you know, be in the middle seat and travel 15 hours to go to the airport hotel and never go into the city and design your life the way you want to live it. But in terms of being an artist, what does that really mean for you? You know, what is your point of view? What is it that you want to communicate? What is it that you want, your message? What is the legacy that you want to leave? And if you know all of those things, you know what's the type of teacher that you want to be. You know that then that can inform all of the movements that you do. That can inform the pathway that you go down, because you're like, oh, no, that's not aligning with my purpose, right? If my purpose is to really grow my community, then you have to lead from that point of view. You're like, okay, so what are the things that I could do to grow my community? If you know that this is the aesthetic that you want to promote, then everything has to be directed to that. So I think it's think a little ahead so that you can work backwards from there and move.
I would tell people to be patient with themselves, and also to embrace the journey, because I feel like we're in a very insta community. Everything has to be fast, instant results, instant gratification, and to really hone in on their why. Why is it that they want to do this? Because I feel like sometimes people say, I want to do it for the money. It's like, okay, but why do you want to make money with this? Oh, because I want to get myself a beautiful house. Okay, but why do you want that beautiful house? I think if you kind of just do something for the, I don't want to just the face value. You're like, yeah, I want to do it because I want to be famous, or because I want money, or because I want whatever. It's just really understanding the real reason why. And if you don't understand, keep asking yourself why, so that you can get to the root of it. And then you need to hold on to that when you're not as successful, when when you don't do a good show, when you have a bad workshop, when you fall on stage, and you remember your why, and that's what's gonna, I feel like, keep you in. And I think also, when you're saying specifically in Dominican bachata, traditional bachata, even the term itself, I think just like in any other industry, you have to do your research. You have to understand, for example, what's already been brought to the stage. What is the network like? You know, what has been done before you, and really honing in on respecting the trajectory of others that came before you, so that you can be better informed and be better prepared when you are delivering your perspective and your point of view in terms of your artistry and your teaching.
I love that. I mean, life is not a destination, right? It's the journey, and to enjoy the journey, and to enjoy the day to day, and enjoy the process. Like Alex said, I mean, just to be patient with yourself.
Because you don't have to wait to be good to have fun. It's fun learning, and it's fun getting better. And as you're taking workshops
and be in the studio,
you're meeting new people. You're doing so much.
Be in the streets dancing.
That for me is gratifying.
And talking about the journey is like this is not part of the list of the questions here, but where do you see yourselves in the next 10 years?
Oof.
That's a really interesting question now because we've been having conversations about the state of the union in terms of like where the network is in general and then where do we want to be, right? I think once a dancer, always a dancer. So I would like to be involved, whether it be maybe not so much being on stage in 10 years, but developing the artistry for the up and coming generation, educating people more on the dance. Also having an influence on what we are considering bachata, what we should be looking for in terms of these competitions, because I think we're kind of at an age where the competition is driving like the shows are driving the social dancing, the demos are driving the social dancing. And so it really is for, at least for me, it's important to make sure that we have voices. I don't want to say voices of reason, but at least voices that are there to represent the authenticity and the roots of the dance. Because like I said, if we don't have that, it's like, what is the point? We lose it all. So that's, I think in 10 years, we want to be at least touching something within the network and doing our best to preserve and to educate.
Yeah, I think all of that with more resources. Hey,
AKA more money.
Hey, no, more resources, and that could be, you know, more space and opportunities to be able to do the things that we love, to be able to reach more people in like a different stratosphere. You know.
And the next question is, how do you imagine the dance world without a social media?
Without a social media, so going back in time to before there's no social media,
Not as redundant. I feel like more room for surprises, more room to get excited, more reason to attend an event.
Yeah.
I think now with social media, what happens is that sometimes you see like performances and you're like, well, I wouldn't go to an event to see a performance. I just saw it online.
But
it's like how now like people are like, I wouldn't go to the movie theaters because I can get it on Disney Plus. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like little by little those experiences that are now available to you and are accessible virtually. You almost kind of like either cheat yourself out of really being present when you're in person experiencing it, or you just choose not to support it because you're just like, well, I could just see it online. Now you can take classes online. You can watch performances online. The interaction, that social, I think that's really
That's what I was gonna
what's
say.
missing. And even when you're social dancing and, you know, are you really present in that dance or are you really focusing on, is someone recording? And I think that if we didn't have social media, those experiences could be much more like enriched.
well, just there being more intimacy between people. I think like Alex said, if people are taking classes online, which I mean, it's amazing. Like if you live in like Norway and you're trying to take class with
Yeah, of
me,
course.
like this is a benefit. But it's different when you're just like on a screen and you have no context about what did the air feel like? What did the ground feel like? What did this person feel like? And you're just looking at something and you try to capture whatever you think is important from the video versus you learn something from someone in person.
Yes.
You have to go you have to go somewhere to do something. So that's even like a will. You're like, okay, I wanted to do this enough that I traveled here to like learn this or to be in
Yes.
community with somebody else. Like, I
Now
think
everybody's into the phones, into everything. You know, I see it. I'm a little bit more strict with my son that is 14 years old. And he's been working amazing.
Yeah.
Have 1 hour a day for him
He's on the
to
phone
do whatever.
diet.
Since he was, I don't know, like I think at 10 is the first time that we give him something like this, and he's been working amazing because
Yeah.
sometimes I tell him, look at those kids, they get mad, they get angry. Now their lives is there.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
and I go like, you have your body got used to use it, and not so much. I try not to be so much in social media lately, because you know the pressure of if you don't do it, you're gonna lose business. You're gonna.
Yeah.
But I tried not to be too much into all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
and enjoy myself. I live next to the sea, you know,
Oh,
just
wow.
across from the
Nice.
beach.
Nice.
I moved there to enjoy myself, to go and with my kids and just relax.
Breathe.
Because sometimes if you're with this, you don't pay attention to nobody.
No.
Let me
No?
tell you,
So
just
it's,
the other day, I was talking about this. I was like, I was such in a good mood. I said, oh man, I'm teaching my class today. I'm so excited. Let me go on and post an advertisement. And then I got on and I'm like, oh, the war. Oh, the streets, the
Yes.
ice. Oh, the this, oh, the that. And sometimes we don't have enough capacity to hold so much for all of the world, right? It's like really hard. It's really heavy. Like, and I'm trying to like, still stay in my joy and give enough joy to the people that are in my family and then to my students and stuff. And it's like, but knowing all of this stuff is just weighing me down. So social media could be amazing, but then it could also be a lot. Like, how much do we really need to know about this person broke up
Or
with
if
this
you don't
person?
get so many likes or this, or somebody
No.
put a bad comment,
Oh my
and people they
gosh.
get depressed,
Yeah, and it's really like, I mean, there's been a ton of studies on this, especially for young kids. So I think what you're
Yes.
doing with your son is amazing. I think to limit, and even just for our eyes to be look on a screen all the time, like, to really look up, to look out, to be present, to be in the moment. I think
try
it's a
to
powerful thing.
make him get into something else. Like right now, he's amazing with piano,
Yeah.
And in the school, from 200 and something students, he was one of the 5 best ones in studying, and the way he was doing. And I was like, so they call us, and I go like, I hope there's nothing wrong. But I knew somehow no, because he's an amazing kid.
Yeah.
And we went and they tell us, no, he's doing really good in this. And we felt so proud, There's 5 kids that they are doing amazing. And they say, we try to talk to the parents and other and family members. What do the kids do after school? And most of these 5 kids, they are the ones who do activities and sports and music, this. Everybody else, they have problems in school. They spend more time in their phones.
Yeah.
They're on the street with friends, and they finish smoking or using drugs and everything. So they go like, it's amazing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. So now with more pleasure, I do it now. He's doing dance, street dance. He's doing the piano. He's now busy with his little brother. I go like, you can teach him so many things because he's gonna, you're a reflection. He's gonna be looking at you.
Yes.
So I go like the same. The kid is not gonna have a phone, anything, nothing. So at least until a certain age. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, because I know the time is a little bit. This one is really nice. I like this question. Okay. Is there something you think Europeans often misunderstand about Dominican bachata?
One thing that they misunderstand, well, I'm not Dominican, but I feel very sensitive about this. I think that when you talk about the aesthetic of a dance, it's really hard to be like, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. And it's like, how can you, as a foreigner, right, or as somebody who's not from the country that which the dance is originated, say what is right or wrong? Like that to me is like cringe. I don't like that at all.
In terms of being a studio dancer, right? Because there's people, for example, that may not be like Dominican, but maybe they were raised in neighborhoods where there was a heavy Dominican influence. And I think I don't think it's necessarily tied to just Europeans. I would bring it a step further and say studio dancers creating this codification of a dance without truly understanding the cultural tie. And I think there's a very fine line between appreciation and appropriation. So it's like really, we just have to be like really cognizant when we create like these blanket statements of like what being Dominican is. Dancing Dominican bachata is, when in actuality, like there are people all over the world who have a lot of information on bachata as it's danced in Dominican Republic and are not studio dancers. They just been around the culture. And then now you have people who, for example, are in the studio world and they have all sorts of technique from other genres of dance, but their one perspective or their one view has been the studio world. And so I think for that, I would kind of invite more of like the studio dancers to really take the opportunity. There's a lot of, these tours are becoming really popular now. Going to Cuba to study like Afro-Cuban and study salsa. In Dominican Republic, we actually offer a tour now where we invite a lot of people from all over the world to come to Dominican Republic and not just, take classes, but also really indulge in the culture and experience what it's like to dance on the beach, to dance on the river, to eat the foods.
In context.
In context.
Right.
And also to experience things that are being talked about and presented in these bachatas. You know, sometimes you have something happen to you in Dominican Republic. You're like, you know what? I'm pretty sure there's a song about something that an experience that happened. You know.
Yeah.
And so that's that's what I think I'm most like. I don't necessarily know if it's a misconception. Just I think like not necessarily the importance or the priority given to making sure that that background information is studied, and that way you can bring that experience into the studios.
I think that's super important to understand context behind anything, right? If you're learning all these vocabulary words we like to think of like dance as the language, right? So you're using all these new moves, these vocabulary dance moves, but then you don't know really how to put them in a sentence together, you know? It's like with an accent, some people might be like doing a kind of flow or something, but like it's just not really fitting right because you don't know how to put it in a sentence. Or like you're like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, and it just doesn't sound right? So understanding, going to Dominican Republic or being in the community, you know, in Spain, there's so many Latinos, and, you know, being in the community in like a cultural sense could give you a sense of like, oh, okay. Ooh, I can relax more into this, and it becomes a little bit more authentic to what it is.
We recommend to everyone to try to travel to Cuba, Latin America, you know, and especially right now it's super popular to go to Dominican Republic because of the bachata. Go because that's the best way to experience something real, the reality, and the beautiful things that we offer in our Latin countries, okay? And now I have another one this one is really nice. What does success means to you today?
I think for me, success has always been waking up each day and feeling excited and passionate about what it is that you do. Like if you get up in the morning and your first thing is, oh my God, like you're listening to music in your head and you're like, you know, marking steps in your head. I'm like, you need to be a dancer. This is what your passion is. I feel like if you go to work and you're kind of like, Fridays are exciting because you're clocking out and Sundays are a drag because you got to go back to work, then you should consider, you know, switching careers. For me, I feel like, I know it's cliche to say that if you're passionate about what you do, if you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work. But honestly, for me, it really does not feel like work because I love what I do. So
that's true.
That's my definition for success.
Yeah. I think, same thing that Alex said. Success is feeling blessed with my family, feeling blessed to be able to have found my purpose, because some people find that later on in life. You know, I found mine really early on, and to be able to live in my passion and to be able to do that for work. That's really success.
And you know what? We got to the last one.
We got through all of them?
No, there was a few more, but because of the time, but there was not that many. There were like 4 more.
Okay.
But we're going to throw the last one because we've been asking the other dancers too. And it's dance like somebody's watching or dance like nobody's watching?
Dance like somebody's watching. I mean, like, I feel like I know it's like it's just like a saying, but on it, if you think about like how you dance when people are watching, meaning like if you know that you need to present something, right? And you're going to do your best to prepare what it is that you want to like present. Not in the way where you're just like so into presenting that you are like not in the moment, that you're not in your feeling. But I do feel like when people see me dance, I always want people to see the best version of me, you know? And so in terms of like my dancing, I feel like I've been studying my craft. I continue to work on it and polish it. So yeah, dance like people are watching.
For me, when I dance, whether I'm dancing for nobody or dancing for a lot of people, I'm dancing. So you cannot take me out of my moment. I'm in my moment, whether there's cameras or not. I can do this by myself. I can do this around you, but I'm gonna always, and this is something that I feel like I'm really blessed with, is I can access this. I could bring whatever is Desiree's feeling inside on the outside, and I'll just be in my thing. So watch or don't watch, I'm gonna be doing it. Okay?
And to close, would you like to say anything about to the audience that are gonna watch this video, this interview?
We love
especially I know
Bachaturo.
I want to just say to the bachata community, first of all, to all the countries that embrace bachata, thank you, because as you know, history of bachata, it's a dance that comes from oppression, even by its own people. So I am fortunate to see bachata where it is today. The fact that so many different countries and so many different cultures embrace it. So we thank you. I think like Luis said, right, inevitably it evolves. I just want people to understand that wherever you are in the world dancing bachata, just please take the time to hone in again on like the roots. Do your best. I think nowadays with social media, there's no excuse to say, well, I don't live in Dominican Republic. Well, there's no Dominican DJs by where I live. Like nowadays, you have so much information accessible to you at your fingertips. And we've made it a lot easier these days to connect, to access that information, whether it be through these festivals like Bachaturo, which we thank for having bachata at this event in this town in Poland, which I never thought I'd be here teaching bachata, but also like through the tours, through the online classes, there YouTube videos, there's documentary. I mean, there's so much information out there. Especially if you're teaching, definitely make sure that your students are getting that information, because having that enriching the dance via the cultural context for us is everything, and it's just gonna preserve it, and it's going to be a lot more long lasting in the future, I feel.
To the organizers of the dance festivals and dance community, curate your festival. Bring the artists that are going to do something for the community, to drive the community in a positive way, right? Bring the teachers who are really going to instill and the community is going to benefit from. Bring the social dancers that are going to dance with everybody and be the vibe in the party. Bring the DJs who can actually DJ and not just play the playlist. Okay, DJs, please do your DJ due diligence and look up the new music. There's no reason why the dancers should be finding out new music before the DJ finds out new music, okay? So look up all of the artists and figure out, read the crowd, read the room. I just played 15 fast-ass songs back to back. Maybe I should slow it down. Ooh, it's 1:30 in the main room. Maybe I gotta turn it up. These are the things you need to look for. Dance teachers, it is your responsibility to be an advocate for the style that you want to exhibit, right? A lot of times, you got to teach a little home training to these people. If they don't know, if they've never danced, you have to teach them dance etiquette. Don't touch the titties, don't touch the face, right? You have to teach them things like that. You also should smile and be like a joy. Your dance classroom needs to be an environment where people can learn and feel fun and feel safe. Forget their worries. They need to go in there and be able to just woosah and relax. Not think about, oh, this person's sleeping with this person. Yeah, forget that. Lead with love and respect, okay? And then dancers, okay? Our dance community. Nothing can happen without you. Please support your local events.
Bravo.
Please support your local musicians that are playing the music that we love to dance to, okay? Nothing would happen without you. Dance in the kitchen, dance in the subway, dance on the bus, dance in your chair, dance with everybody, dance as much as you can, and smile and have a good time.
He said one thing she did a dissertation.
Yeah.
And support, like she said, just let's support each other, because
one community.
Together we're stronger.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Alex, Desiree, Luis
love you.
Vazquez in the house.
Thank you.
Nos
Thank you so
vemos.
much.
Adiós.